So again, welcome back to me, welcome back to Thailand. True Blue here from Thailand. I hope you're doing well. It is one active here in Thailand, which is Sunday, and it's around about 11ish in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. So I hope you're doing well. So for instance, it's a lovely sunny morning here in Thailand, and a lot of people, a lot of phalanx, a lot of foreigners here in Thailand. Some of them not doing very well, etc. For instance, and also riding motorbikes, having crashes, getting seriously injured. Again, say it all the time. You're coming to Thailand. Don't rent a motorbike if you don't know how to use it, and if you're going to use it, rent and wear a helmet. And I hope you're doing well. So we're here to review the Man City game against Notts Forest, and whoa. I think, for instance, again, there's a phew, and there's a there's a kind of happiness, there's a yay, we beat them, etc. But I think, for instance, we've got to really take things into context. Again, for instance, which I always say, for instance, we've got to take things into context. And regarding teams like this, like for instance Premier League type sides. Premier League sides are some very good sides. Notts Forest don't want to go down. I think, for instance, people thinking that we're just going to waltz to Notts Forest, etc., and get 3 points because we're playing well. It doesn't work that way, especially in the Premier League. It really doesn't. And when you listen to Tijjani chatting later, for instance, and he says the intensity of the Premier League, and he was asked about the intensity of the Premier League. It's like, every game, exactly. Every game is hard. Every game is tough. And you can't waltz into there thinking that, for instance, you've already won the game just because they've got players injured, they're not doing well, the bottom of the league, that kind of thing. And for instance, if you look at the results yesterday, if you look at the Liverpool results, Liverpool 2-0 up against Wolves, that should be about 5 or 6-0. No, 2-1, Liverpool hanging on. So, and what? And again, at Stanfield, this is, you'd expect better. Arsenal go 1-0 up, etc. I said to them, that could be a draw. That, for instance, Arsenal not being playing very well, playing lacklustre football. I'm sorry, they're still doing it. I listen to Arsenal fans on talk crap, etc. Oh, we're top of the league, we're going to win the league, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, the way they play football at the moment is not great. It really isn't. What's it got? That's 5 games now. For instance, they've scraped to win another own goal. Could you believe this? For instance, again, it's just the way they are playing at the moment. It's just they are such a poor. They're a poor team. Not a poor team, but they're a good team, etc. Playing quite very underwhelming at the moment. To use a ESPN word, Don Hutchinson, for instance, underwhelming. And for instance, yesterday they had the fingertips of Raya, to save them from from losing, from getting a draw of the game. And again, they still can't score. When they're bringing on players, they keep bigging them up and say that this, Djokovic and Jesus and this guy and the return of Saliba, for instance, and everything's going to be wonderful in the garden. But it was goal. And they're having a lot of possession, they're having a lot of chances, but they're not putting the ball in the back of the net. And this is the Premier League, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's the difference between the Premier League and the Championship. We put the ball in the back of the net. For instance, and at the end of the day, for instance, they don't bring it onto the Manchester City result. It's the fact that regardless of, you could say Notts Forest played very well. You could say the players roughed up Manchester City big time. You could say that you can't say they had the best chances. They can't even really say they had there was no chances in the first half, etc. for either side. There was a shot across the goal, which by Morgan Gibbs White was a goal, but that's about it. But at the end of the day, what the difference between Notts Forest and Man City is quality and quality players, and the quality players actually came through. What's it called? Of Manchester City's quality players, and so the quality players like Ryan Cherki, Phil Foden, like Erling Haaland, etc. For instance, and Tijjani Reinders, etc. And these are the difference between where we are in the Premier League, etc., to where they are. For instance, and again, we score goals. Their goal was good, by the way. It was a goal, but I can't give it that. But I think, for instance, when people are going to listen to LB later on, I'm going to listen to him and Sai. They're going to do a player ratings. I think there's going to be some 5s and 6s in there. It's not going to be. But again, you can't really. Again, for instance, sometimes just because you're winning the games, etc., and your form is good, and we beat West Ham 3-0 and blah blah blah, Sunderland 3-0 and playing very well, it doesn't mean to guarantee you a game that, for instance, you're going to win. 3-0, 4-0, and everybody's going to have 9 out of 10 performances. This is a gutsy, tough decent, like hard working performance, etc. Where, in like again, and Sean Dyche at the end, etc., moaning about the fact that Morton Gibbs White clashed with Nick O'Reilly, for instance, for the Cherki goal, was just pathetic. I think it was just ridiculous about what he said and how his reaction, etc. I think it was a murder, because he's never beat Man City, and he's never beat Pep Guardiola. And so he's crying, and so to see, that was with that, again, for instance, that happened in the opposite side. Would that been a penalty? Would that? No, it would just, he went down and still got up. What's it called? But the Turkish chop went through his legs, etc. So and I think sometimes I thought the fouls actually, because went towards Forest rather than Man City, because I felt that guy, for instance, up front for them, held up the ball, etc., and went down a lot, for instance, their play, for instance, they play very well. But again, I remember listening to Ian Cheeseman just before that, and he was saying about how the fact that he was interviewing a guy at half time, and he said that Forest are making it messy for Manchester City, and I thought that was it. I think when you're looking the likes of Newcastle, Sunderland's going to be a messy game. Their Stadium Light is going to be could be a messy game, very similar. Forest are making it because they feel that that's the way to get at Man City. You've got to mess them up. You've got to get into our faces. You've got to, and it does work. It does work. What's going on with these teams? So to sit there and say that Manchester City, So for instance, but the thing is, I think the players and the team is beginning to react to that better. For instance, and we're getting stuck in. You've got Nico Gonzalez, Ruben Dias, Guardiola, for instance, not taking it, taking the punches and giving it back. I was worried about Nico Gonzalez getting a yellow card. I was worried Ruben Dias getting another yellow card. Nico Gonzalez would have been out, for instance. I thought he was lucky not to get a yellow card, or out. Not to say that he played dirty, but he got pulled up for a challenge. And I think they made it messy for us, okay, and it worked to a degree, but the quality of Man City came through, and that is what you've got to think about. And we're going over to Not Forest, etc. But we are getting the job done, and with the quality, Man City's qualities shone through, and the quality of Cherki, etc., came through. Tijjani Reinders. Now, these underwhelming players, which was Man City signed during the summertime period, which, according to Don Hutchinson, Stevie Nicol, and Craig Burley, Man City's signings underwhelming. So there you go. So our underwhelming signings. Anyway, so let's pop into the game. Just have a sit for a quick. Okay, so let's have a look at the stats. Again, first to start off with. So the match stats. So regardless of Forest, Man City still have the most possession, 66% over 34. Regarding of Forest, etc., and the media are saying, Forest had really, really good chances. Well, they only had 2 shots on the outside of the box. Man City had 5. They only had 2 shots on the inside of the box, right, where they once they scored. Man City had 5. So, for instance, Man City were by far, the most productive as far as that. And it all came in the second half, by the way. Apart from off corners. Corners by 5, fouls 13. 13-5. Again, Man City got pulled up for doing it for every foul for me. And and I'm not being bitter. I'm just thinking, just to say, we started off with the team. So we started off with the usual suspects, etc. For instance, Donnarumma, Nunes, Diaz, Guardiola, O'Reilly, Nico, Bernardo, Tijjani, Foden, and Cherki and Haaland. Savinho came on at 7th minute, and Aki came on to shut up the defence on the 89th minute. It's the reason why we can't get rid of people like Aki, because we need him. Because again, for instance, he can play a part in shoring up the defence when we need him. Subs not used. Trafford, Rodri, who was nice to see him on the bench. Kuzinov, Medado, Musaka, Lewis, and Ryan Haskell. Again, look at that, 3 academy players on the bench again. Just shows you how Man City's strength in depth. Again, the mere fact that we need the likes of For instance, we need the likes of for instance, Semenko, etc. Because we need the players. We need these players. So yeah. So let's have a quick go through the game. So Ryan Cherki's 83rd minute winner secured Man City's 2-1 victory over Forest, as Man City made a perfect ending to 2025. Yeah, last game of 2025. We were on top for a few hours. After neither side had a shot on target in the first half, Tijjani Reinders fired Hudders up ahead 3 minutes after the break, when the calmly finished off a well-crafted move. Yeah, fantastic move. That was, that is the football kind of Man City playing. Beautiful football. Cherki finding Reinders. Guardiola again. He's becoming pivotal. Guardiola in the City setup play. Cherki finding Reinders back of the net. Beautiful. What's it called? Who needs Ireland? We do. What's it called? But look like we have. They find a perfect December when Omar Hutchinson equalised from close range 6 minutes later. Yeah, I think that goal came all of Tijjani Reinders felt falling back, etc. And he missed control a pass, and they basically just did one touch football all the way up and scored the goal. Very good goal from them. Very unusual goal from them. And so it was really, really good. So with time ticking down, Cherki also provide the late assistant for Reinders. Drilled a low volley through a crowd of penalties, through a penalty into the penalty area. The victory was 8th on the bounce and briefly took us to the top of the Premier League before Arsenal's 2-1 victory over Brighton. Big save. There was little Christmas spirit at the City grounds in a teething 45 minutes with defence on top and no shots on target, but the festive cheer wouldn't come later. City survived a scare on the opening 5 minutes, and Callum Hudson-Odoi dangerously across Avedo, Igor Jesus, that's the guy, and Morgan Gibbs-White on the edge of the 6-yard box. While we had more of the ball, but it found difficult to break down the host, with Cherki having won a looping effort over the bar, while Erling Haaland and Phil Foden saw shots blocked from a good position. The game came to life shortly after the break, when the cleverly City move cut open the open side with Cherki slide down the side of the Forest defence, and Reinders cleanly finished in front of Julian away fans. Yeah, fans were brilliant, by the way, Man City fans, if you were there. But the Frenchman also almost doubled the lead shortly after, when a quick break from Victor touched the ball onto the outside of the post. Yeah, absolute great. What's it called? He could have had if that would have been 2-0, I think that would have been game over there and then, but you never know. However, City leaded last just 6 minutes when Hutchinson finished an Igor Jesus cross from close range. Forest Brazilian striker acted as a battering ram all afternoon as he teed up the Nicola Williams low drive and a well saved GD Donnarumma, and Savino fired in the rebound over. His compatriot John Victor at another end of the pitch was made a superb save from denying Phil Foden. Yeah, that Phil Foden attempt, etc. Phil, quiet in the first half, really came to life in the second half, and he should have scored with that goal, but really, I thought he kind of went too closer to the goalkeeper, just a couple of centimetres either, just a bit further over. I don't think he would have got it. What's a goal? But nevertheless, it was a good attempt by Phil, etc., and a good save by the goalkeeper. But there was one last twist at the corner, was cleared to Cherki, whose fine effort found his way into the back of the net. Yeah, was another Guardiola to Cherki, just bang, back of the net, straight through a crowd of players. Quality strike, really, really good. But absolutely fantastic. The Premier League Playmaker of the Season awarded was introduced in 2017 and 2018, and was the only team to win all 3 times. Starman without Cherki gets us man of the match. City pairing of Jesus and Ruben Dias did well dealing with Igor Jesus, who made himself a pest all afternoon, but with our number 10 moment the key is scoring and scoring against the Cherki Trees. Yeah, so so absolutely, and it's about getting the job done. It's about going over to places like this, and again, the defence is getting stronger. They're getting more and more of a teeth, more of a bite into them, so they're not getting bullied as much as what we did in the beginning of the season with Ruben and Jasko and Nico Gonzalez really getting stuck in. He really gets stuck in, Nico. I worry about his, so I would like to see Rodri come in and maybe calm him down a little bit, but he's showing his class. He really is. He's one of the players this season, Nico Gonzalez. I thought Nicholas O'Reilly struggled a little bit against with for instance, but getting out, and Nunes, I thought Nunes was okay, was steady, etc. But and he had some nice touches and crosses, etc. But didn't do as much. I'll do the player ratings tomorrow, and I'll post up on my thumbnail and on the thumbnail on the YouTube channel. But City 24, and then but overall I'm delighted. For instance, again, it's not they're not 5-star performances, but we got the job done. And against a very, very difficult promotion. That was a really good analysis of Igor Jesus. He was a pest. He was banded, knocked his way through, and he was causing trouble. He's going to wake up this morning with a few bruises, and for his again, it's all in vain, isn't it? Peps Guardiola's reaction is an incredible man all the way through. It was unbelievable. Jesus, they have a top quality team. The team was in the Champions League for 1 or 2 games last season, and now the European competitors. A fantastic team, a tough place to come even in the winter time. We talked about this in the last few days with the players. Winter time at Nottingham Forest, you have to be there. Today we are not ready. When we don't win the games. The mentality was unbelievable. So it was really, really pleased for the guys. Yeah, and that's it, a mentality. And this is what gets you over the line. This is what gets us to win the games in the Premier League. This is what gets us to these again. Going to Palace and getting a 3-0 victory at Palace, just come after Real Madrid. Going to Nottingham Forest, for instance, first game after Christmas, and go into a tough into Luftan and getting the 3 points. You could talk about Arsenal, but Arsenal are doing things in a very again, a boring Arsenal, they really are. So for instance, the Man City are showing the quality and the tenacity and the fact that we're not going to get bullied. They were not going to lay down. Those games last season we would have either lost or definitely got a point. We didn't. But right now we're coming away from 3 points. Pep Guardiola. It's 18 games played, so we're now finished in the first leg, and it's the second now it's coming up, and with a lot of games like today. The Premier League is tougher, but it's important that we have to be there, as I've just said. Pep Linders, because Pep Guardiola went to Pep Linders on more than one occasion, and he was pointing at him. He's only got 1 year contract. I think he definitely signed him up for a few years. Pep Linders. On him, because he's good. Pep is so good. He's a top manager, and there are some you can say that there's an assistant. I'm his assistant. So yeah, he's looks like he's got a really good working relationship with Pep Linders and with Jamie French, etc., and of course Carlo Torre. Pep Guardiola's, yes, I've lost all my Christmas League. Sean Dyche, I'm not bothering you, but I'm not listening to you moaning and groaning. Tijjani Reinders, we're on the hunt. We want to keep on the pressure on Arsenal and to make it difficult as possible for them. We are on a good way. Tijjani Reinders on the Premier League. Every game is hard. You have to play games at 70 and 80%. You have to be ready for each game. I like it. The intensity is great, and it makes you think so much faster than normal. So yeah, Ryan Cherki and his 50th goal contribution across Europe, 5 leaguers. Absolutely superb. The championship is so long now. Now the rest of the games is very important for us, and we're ready. Ryan Cherki, when the games come, we need just one thing: win the games and take the points, because the championship is so hard. And today is a very big win, and you can see the way the guys celebrated afterwards. So around Cherki, it's good. It's good for the team because the game is not simple. I'm very proud of my team because this championship is long, and now we have now we go with the team and enjoy. So absolutely happy, really delighted for Ryan Cherki. Tijjani Reinders getting his goal again. The guys going. People was like writing Tijjani Reinders off, and I thought, no, give the guy a chance. He'll score more goals. And so for instance, the signing of the season at the moment, really playing well. Semenko scored for Bournemouth. Actually, they got beat by Brentford 4-1. So hopefully we'll see Semenko, for instance, wearing blue soon. And but other than that, for instance, we're going to go to Sunderland, where we just beat 3-0. That'll be in the back of their minds. They lost 3-0 to Man City, and it will probably be maybe a different match at Sunderland. But I more than likely with the City, with the way we're playing at the moment, between our teeth. And so I think, for instance, we should be able to pick up the 3 points. But again, I keep saying every game in the Premier League is not easy at all, and you just showed you. And again, so Chelsea game against Aston Villa just before I go. Aston Villa won 2-1. I was listening to the replay of game day phone-in, and up till when Aston Villa scored their first goal, they've been written off by the bookies, and you could have got 16-1 for Aston Villa to beat Chelsea. And then see what happens. There you go. But another team up and down, Chelsea. So West Ham, poor you. Guys, gonna love you and leave you. True Blue Tie from Thailand. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you're thinking. How are you feeling about the game? Are you happy just with getting the 3 points? Do you feel like me, for instance? Again, we're winning these games where it doesn't make no difference. This was a good team performance, etc. For instance, not 100%. It's not fast flowing football we all want to see, blah blah blah. But against your opponents, we adapted to our opponents, and the quality shone through at Manchester. Man City came home with all 3 points, and the fans were brilliant. And John Robertson, rest in peace. And but I'll speak to you tomorrow.